I hope you're ready. I'm ready. I hope these people are ready.
Dude.
I hope they've watched some of your videos, really, because they need to lead up to what awesomeness. Now, I will preface today's attire because I have been literally 8 hours working on this stupid Trailblazer New Daily that I complain about every time I'm on here. I've been working on it 3 weeks, man. It's been crazy.
Dude.
I bet 20 hours maybe. I don't know.
The Trailblazers are a nightmare, man. My buddy Eric, the Gray Ghost from my channel, the Turbo Mustang, he's got one as a daily.
It's just brutal.
Dude, he had a wheel trying to leave the car. I swear to God, man. He showed up to help me. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that thing's nuts.
Yeah, so I've been dailying a '93 Tercel until I couldn't take it anymore. I just started driving the old truck, man. I was like, F this, I got to do it.
Hey, dude, the old truck's where it's at, man.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's so much fun. So let's introduce everybody to you now that we've been talking for a minute.
Yeah.
So guys, this is Ryan, Street Car Chronicles. Dude, tell them where they can find you, and then I'm going to get into thanking everybody for the podcast.
Dude, you can find me Street Car Chronicles on YouTube, Street Car Chronicles on Facebook, Street Car Chronicles _ on Instagram. I have not done the TikTok thing yet. I started to, but I literally sat on the toilet for about 4.5 hours one time, and I had to have help out of the bathroom. So I can't go back to that yet,
Dude, TikTok is so rough. I'll jump on and be like, oh man, I'm going to 10 minutes. I'm going to see if anybody's commented on some of my posts. They're like 2 a.m. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, dude, it's bad.
There's like,
when you were a kid and you were out partying, I never had one of those laps of, reason, where you forgot what you were doing. But somehow at 38 years old, I can lose 3 hours on TikTok. So
just completely erase my time. It's nuts. So, dude, you are day 2 of 12 Pods of Christmas. I'm so excited.
Heck yeah.
It's going to be we're going to have a ton of fun. We're going to talk about race week stuff, drag and drive stuff, and some of the stuff you got coming. Yes. Red Bull at 6 p.m. Man, I'd be up till 3. I need to get you one
I used
of
to
those.
do 2 more. I'm not sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah. But hey, give them a let's Red Bull come over here. Help us do that.
Hey, Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah, right. That's funny. So we're going to talk about all that, but first, dude, I got to thank the two folks that help us. Look at my finger. I mashed it in the washing machine, dude. It was brutal. I've taken a beating the last couple of weeks.
I was going to say, man, you good? You put together? You all right? You got an ice pack or anything?
No, stuff's falling apart, man. So for the room, we got to thank the 7 people that came together that donated money. I appreciate it. You were one of those dudes.
Yeah,
so we're going to start with you. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I mean, really, it's been really fun. If I could get this stupid Trailblazer done, I'd finish the room. But it's going to get cold at some point, and I don't have wipers on the
baby steps.
Dude, I'm telling you. So thank you to Ryan, obviously. And that's not why you're here. You're here because you have an awesome channel. It's not pay to play over here at Narcoleptic. It's pay or play all the time over here.
Right.
Tyler Petrum, Donovan Green, who else? Godly, everybody. Dino Cardella. I had to write him down. Tom Stark, who I heard tonight is racing in the Christmas tree race. So they're headed to Bradenton, Florida in the wagon from PRI. You, Matt Monroe, who has Big Blocks Garage, which we're going to talk about in a little bit too. And then Big Bad Daddy, the Cowboy Yankee, John Wright. So thank you very much, everybody, for that. Thank you to Andy's Computer Repair for making the internet in the shop possible. That dude is amazing. Had dinner with him the other night after a Christmas parade. It was awesome. And then Hawassi Tire and Lube, which we are headed that way in a couple days for some tires for the old truck because we crossed 3,000 subscribers. Yeah, means time for a 300-foot burnout.
Yeah.
So I'm so ready. We're going to destroy some shit again, and it's going to be great. So,
yes. Excellent.
Yeah. All right, enough about my crap. 4 minutes in. I'm sorry, everybody. Let's talk fun stuff. Tell folks what's behind you, but not too deep, because we're going to go deep on that car a little bit.
So that's old Mike Honcho, the 78 Malibu that I picked up off of Facebook. Me and the wife were actually doing a bathroom renovation, and we had a specific amount of money set aside for that. And luckily, it popped up 2 days, I think, before we were done. And so I called her and said, hey, what do we have left in the budget? And she told me, and I said, okay, good. Because I found something. And she's like, oh, geez. I said, yeah. I ran out there. I told the guy I think he wanted $3,500 for it. John, if you're listening, I appreciate you making the deal. He drove a hard bargain. I said, hey, man, will you take $2,800? He goes, no. I said,
No.
3, no. 31, no. 32, no. 34,
awesome.
no. I said, all I got is 34. He goes, all right, it's done. So, and I brought this pig home. I've been messing with it ever since.
Your negotiating skills are superb.
Oh, second to none. Second to none. Yeah.
That's funny. So what's the engine trans? All that kind of stuff?
So the old 305 lasted for about 9 minutes. There's actually a funny story about the whole drivetrain, this thing. But so I bought it just originally. I told the wife, hey, I'm just going to drive it around.
Yeah, just a cruiser, man.
Yeah, just a cruiser. And turned out it wouldn't even drive. It wouldn't shift out of first gear, and it ran like crap. So we got it running better, me and my buddy Eric. And it was a tranny cooler in the transmission. It had leaked into the radiator. And so, we had a turbo 350 full of water and a radiator full of trans fluid. So we got a bucket of trans fluid, dumped it, and shifted good. So it's a 454 out of a dually that had set for about 9 years.
Nice.
That I pulled apart. It's got some cheap Chinese heads that I bought brand new that were old stock at an engine company I used to work for.
Yeah.
It's got a Howard's baby cam, the wrong intake, the wrong carburetor, and some used headers. And it still has that broke ass turbo 350 in it.
That's awesome. But hey, it's a cruiser, man. That's what
Yeah, dude. It was never intended to be a fast car. It's just slowly evolving. And then I have some stuff I'll share later on with you on what's going to happen with that.
That's awesome. Well, all right, so let's back folks up. Obviously, we're going to talk about why you started recording, why you do YouTube, things like that. But I want to start early on. Let's start were you always a car guy? 10 or 11-year-old Ryan, is he a car guy?
I have been a car guy since I can remember.
Yeah.
It started for me in art class when I was like,
okay.
God, I don't know, maybe first, second grade.
Mm-hmm.
There was we used to be able to pick magazines, right? And then you could draw off of them or use them to make collages with or whatever. So I made a collage out of some old hot rod magazines.
Nice.
And I can't remember the guy's name. It was a Pro Street. It was a Pontiac J2000. It's a very famous car. It split, in half like this. It had a full tube chassis. I can't remember the guy's name. If anybody can remember it, just put it in there. But that car, I was like, man, I got to have big tires. I want wheelie bars. I want a blower. I want all, and so it just kind of went from there. And actually, I think I probably in my lifetime read more car books than I did academic books, which is sad. But I've made it this far, and I'm not dead, and I'm not in the street, so I'm all right.
There you go.
But it started there, and just it bloomed. And then my granddad was a tool and die maker for General Dynamics. He built airplanes,
cool.
and so he had a natural knack for using his hands. So when I became old enough, he actually had a car set aside for me, and we started working on it together. And that's been a snowball effect ever since.
I'm
awesome. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's good to turn wrenches and stuff. You know what I mean? Especially as a kid, and letting folks letting your kids take stuff apart. I don't ever even let mine try and put it back together. I'm like, just destroy stuff. Who cares? Just take it down to nothing. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So that way they figure stuff out. So, being a car guy, what does that mean for your first car? Do you have a cool first car, or was it something that was just get you by?
No, I actually had a cool first car. So the car that I was talking about with my granddad, his mom bought 2 brand new 1976 Caprice Classics off of Bruce Lowry Chevrolet showroom floor in Fort Worth here.
Nice.
And she gave one to him, and she kept one for herself. And so he drove it to commute back and forth to General Dynamics, which is now Lockheed Martin. But anyway, when I was born, he parked it and covered it up. And so we worked on it together. And, when I was 11, I think it had to been 10 or 11. And I was like, hey, he would take me around, around the block or whatever. And then one day I was like, hey, can we start working on it and doing stuff? He's like, yeah. So we started with fixing the AC because I think the AC went bad in it. We ended up doing just general maintenance stuff, getting it up and running, tires, shocks, learning how to do some brakes. But the car was actually really clean. So we did, I think we did the rear end in it because it had a carrier bearing that was bad. So we did the rear end in it.
Right.
And, just odds and ends. And then we ended up fully restoring the car. By the time I was 15, the whole car was just slick as could be. But, in 99, 2000, that thing wasn't worth squat. Now,
now you wish you had it. Yeah.
Man, if I had it right now, but so I had that. And when I was 16, the first car I actually bought on my own, I worked at a gas station, like one of the last full service gas stations we had around here. So I pumped gas, washed windows, check tires, did all that kind of stuff, and dodged the old ladies on Wednesday when it was Senior Citizens Day, because they literally, I think they accounted for most of the casualties in the city of Hearst, at least for a course of so many years. But so I did that, and there was a guy that worked down at another station, a sister station, and he had a 69 Torino GT Fastback. And I had no clue what it was. I just drove by, on the way home from work, and I saw it. Dude, that is such a cool looking car. And so it turned out he was selling it, and I made a deal with him that I'd bring my paycheck to him every Friday.
Oh, shit.
And and I bought it. It was a 390 C6, big old long. And I drove that thing for probably 2-3 years, dude. I love that thing. It had no window in it, too. That was the other thing. The driver's side window, this is how I used to do things, right? So I had no driver's side window in it because the track was busted, right?
Oh, dang.
And you couldn't get parts for Torinos back then, dude. It was like a needle in a haystack back then. Now they're just, everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but you can find a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up having the interior completely redone in the car, and I still couldn't put a window in it. So every time it rained, I had a cardboard that I had cut out, and I just tape it up.
Like it just went in like you had it. It was perfect. Yeah, dude. Hey, I've driven those cars. The old truck has power windows. Well, the driver's side's power. You just go like.
Nice.
What's so funny is somebody will get in and they'll hit the crank a couple times, and I'm like, "You bastard!"
Yeah, you just created all kinds of. You just created a shitstorm.
Yes, because now I gotta you gotta work the window down. I'm like, if you leave it alone and you just the passenger window, I had it rolling at one time. It doesn't do it anymore. But
yeah, I've been there, done that. That sucks.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to say hey to all the folks in the chat over there. I see everybody saying hi to everybody. Junker Clunkers, Wasted Talent Fabrications is in here. He's going to be on the 20th. We're stacking some folks up. I think I may do like a panel night on the 18th for the 12 Pods of Christmas and have just a bunch of people in. I see Mr. Hustle Hard, Rich GT350R. Who else is in here? Got Cummins Tech 2020. I'd like to have him on, I think, with Steven as they could just talk diesel stuff for hours. I'm sure Carl Steamy, who is
Carl, also, what's up, man?
Yeah, also known as Mr. Drag and Drive, and all the fun stuff. Hot Carl for the car. So all right, so your first bought car. Now, did you do like me and have a couple years where you didn't have anything cool?
Yeah, actually, I did. When my oldest son was born, we had. Let's see. You know what? I had a Nova then, but I think I traded it for a 51 Bel Air, which my wife, if I start talking about it, she'll come out here and kill me right here on this. So we're just going to leave it at that. Bought a 51, bad move. Yeah. And I got rid of that, and I didn't have anything for maybe 2.5 years or so. I kind of took a break from it and stepped away from everything. And before we got married, I was heavily in the street racing scene, and
you're in a good spot for that too.
Oh yeah, it's Limpy. I've known Limpy for God, I don't know, since it all started. I mean, it really started with Limpy and me, and I'm not saying I did what he did. I'm not gonna ride that coattail, but I was there, and we partook in the glory days of that whole deal. And so for 5-6 years straight, it was just like I was either doing something where I was racing or I was helping my buddy Clayton race. And, so it was like work on the truck, night off, race, work on the truck, And so we had a little back half S10 that we used to race back then. And so when we got together and started forming a life, I decided to kind of step back and take a break for a little while. And, it's like anything else. You get away from it for a little bit, but it's like a sick addiction. You just slide back into it. Next thing you know, you're knee deep.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the story. It's funny you say about your kid. So my oldest was born in January. And so we were 6 or 8 weeks away. And I was like, okay, I finally got the old truck back to my house. I was like, if I don't do something right now and rewire this thing to where I can drive it, I'll never get to mess with it until she's like 5 years old, right?
Right.
So in like 4 weeks, I worked 70 hours a week selling cars then, and I would come home, eat dinner, and just hammer on the truck. So my wife is like 8 months pregnant. I'm in the shop in the garage every night working on this truck, trying to get it ready, rewired the whole thing, did the interior, all this kind of stuff. In probably, I think it was like 3.5 or 4 weeks. And then, that was like the middle of December. We did Christmas, and then the baby was born. Man, it was over after that. It sat ready, and I drove a little bit. I do want to say hey to LS Chevy Rider 254. Y'all, he's trying to get to 10,000 by Christmas Day, 10K by Christmas Day. Y'all go help him out. Great stuff. Box top Chevys. He's building the Turbo LS for one of his cars. I mean, we love Turbo LS. I love big wheels. I love box top stuff.
Oh, is he the guy with the gray one? Which one does he have? Oh, dude. I'll go subscribe after we're done here because I love that freaking car. That car is amazing. We watched a video because my friend Jacoby, we have a big wheel car that's on the channel too. It hasn't been on much, but it will be on more. And we're doing a ton of stuff to it right now. Nice. It's a Regal. And so he actually got me. He keeps me up to date on the big wheel world. And we went to Donkfest here. Whipfest, not Donkfest. Whipfest here a little while back and checked out some stuff. And he got me onto that car, and I've been watching it. That thing is nuts. Dude, I love a box top Chevy, man. Dude, that stuff is so crazy. So, Lyle Barnett's a big inspiration for life, because that dude's badass. He's supposed to be on next Sunday. So I've been following him for a long time. Dude, they just put bead locks on the 26. I'm like, brain blown. The big world, it's amazing because I couldn't quite understand it because obviously I'm traditional, drag race guy, right? Yeah. So you have 4-link suspension, your ladder bar suspension, and I'm trying to think like how the heck do you guys make 275, 60, 15, yeah. Right, yeah. And I'm a small tire guy. I'm not a big tire guy by any means, and so it was amazing to me to be able to see what these guys can do with these things. When they first started coming out, they clicked off a tune or two here and there. I was like, that's pretty impressive. But now, come on, dude. You're getting into the 8s. Are they tapping in the 7s? They're getting close. Like 830s, 840s or something like that. Crazy. That's got to be. Yeah, Steven in here. So Steven's my little brother, and we're fixing to build something. I really want like a 78, 79 Caprice, 2-door. Oh, yeah. With like the arrow window. Absolutely. That's what's up. I'm in. So we've been talking about that, something that's 1,000 or 1,200 minimum, big inch twin turbo type setup, Right. Like what we would do, and then like I'll take it and put it on like a 15 or 17, and we'll go real racing, Yeah, so, dude. No, Jacoby's been trying to get me to put big wheels on the Malibu for a while. Yeah. Man, here's the thing. Like, so we put a 275 60 15 on the truck, and now I'm like, man, I want to go down in wheel because I had 18s on it. I'm like, I really want to go back to a 15 and do like a, just a drag race look setup, run like a 6-inch front wheel or 4-inch front wheel. And a 275 60 15 just looks so right. Oh yeah, dude, that's what I got on the back of Honcho right now. Yeah. We had to cut like everything out of it, and it still rubs, and I'm fixing to have to do some changing on that. But it just looks great, man. And those, it's like a mini tub that you do, right? And then you narrow the frame some, right? Yeah. So we cut the frame rails out of it. You had to, make the frame rail as skinny as you can get it. We didn't go nuts with it yet because I have the wrong offset wheel in the car. There are some hand-me-downs from my buddy's '68 Camaro, and they're 4.5 inch and back spacing, and I think I need like a 5.5, but it is what it is. I like the car sitting real low. I like to try to make them work sitting low. Yeah. And everybody just a little bit. And everybody rides my ass about it. Yeah. So. It looks so good when it leaves, though. It looks great sitting still. Yeah. So you are you're Fort Worth, Dallas, kind of that metro, right? Yep.
So,
yeah, I'm Denton. I'm a little north of it, but yeah,
cool.
I don't claim either one. I'm just kind of in between them. Definitely not Dallas, but I'm in the DFW area.
I got you. That's awesome. We get down there once or twice a year. I think we'll have to end up back in there. So let's. God, man, dude, you've had so many cars. Like I don't even know where to start. Like walk us through some progression. I mean, how do you get to? We know the story on how you get the Malibu, but like. You know, said the 51 will not speak of. What came after that? So that car probably didn't live around very long, I would take it.
No. No, that one didn't live long at all. It was either that. I was either going to get rid of that or be living in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm out of here. I like my house, honey. Thank you.
Yeah, I like AC and heat in my family, you know. So
yeah,
no,
right.
But no, I mean, from you know, I had a bunch of Chevelles. I was a Chevelle guy. I had a 67. I had a 64 SS 4-speed car back when I was like 20. And then I traded it for the most god-awful car I'll never own again. And it was a really nice car, but it was a C3 Corvette 71, I think, or 70. Big block car.
Yeah,
super nice car.
I can't get into those, dude. I just can't. Like,
no.
If it's pro touring, now that I can do that. Like low, big wheels. I can deal with that car then, you know. Like,
that's the way mine was. Mine was bone stock, and I had envisioned in my head at the time. I was big into the my steady life is hot rods, and you know, whether it be muscle cars or whatever. But I had a lot of friends like my brother-in-law and stuff that were in the mini truck scene.
Yeah. Everybody else could do the same thing.
Man, appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude.
It's pointless entertainment, but it's different than a lot of people's stuff because I try to focus more on the lifestyle of it than hey, I'm putting this nut and bolt in here and don't turn it. I don't do that, you know, because you don't want to see how I work.
Dude, so all right, hang on, we gotta talk about that because like I recorded the first half of working on this Trailblazer, and I'm like, nobody wants to see some how-to shit. So like, I'm gonna take some of that stuff and I'm gonna be like. My brother and I were having this conversation literally yesterday. I was like, people want 3 minutes. Take this apart. All the stuff, and it's apart. There you go. Cool. Here's your 3-minute video on Facebook or YouTube. Instead of a 12-minute video, it's like all your lead in, all your intro. Like you're going to get a subscriber off, you know, where your coil packs are located on a Trailblazer. They hate their life anyways.
Man, yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Like I just think of it this way. Like when 2020 hit, you know, and all the BS went down, I found Derek from Vice Grip Garage. And I think I binge watched that dude because
that's awesome.
Like, dude, he's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
And it was cool what he was doing. I cared about the cars. It was neat what he was doing, but it was how he acted about it. You know what I mean? Like he was just truly enjoying what he was doing. And that was super cool to me. And so I watched him. And that really, to be honest with you, up until that point, I've always looked at YouTube, and years ago, if you dig super, super deep into the YouTube archives, back when YouTube first began, me and my brother-in-law used to do a bunch of videos and stuff. And it was pretty funny back in our mini trucking days. But I look back on that now, very dark ages. So hopefully nobody ever.
Don't find that.
But anyway, so, you know, like YouTube for me was just like, you know, I'd watch a few racing videos here and there, and that was about it. So, but I got so sick and tired of listening to the news and all the BS stuff that I was like, man, I'm going to stick with this guy. Hopefully he's got enough content to keep me, you know, entertained because, but then I started finding other people like Dylan McCool. I watched a lot of his stuff, which he's a Dodge guy. I'm not a huge Dodge guy, but I do like them. So I watch his stuff. And then I, you know, found a lot of stuff on Rocky Mountain Race Week, and you know, a lot of guys that follow, that cover that stuff, and then they have their own channels. And I'm like, dude, this is like endless. It's like an endless rabbit hole that you can go down, which is very cool because
I can't wait.
My favorite channel back in the day was Speed Vision, you know, and then it just turned to straight NASCAR, and it just and then it went away. So you know. Power Block Nation or whatever, you know, like every time I could catch something car related, it was super cool. But you just never really had a lot of good racing channels, you know, like you had wasn't Pinks. God, I remember binge watching that stuff back in the day. You watch it now and you're like,
it was good for like 2 seasons, and then it was like, oh my God, you guys are reaching so hard.
Yeah, Rich is like, he's just like, are you ready to race? Are you ready to race? Like, you calm down, man.
Yeah.
It's not a fight.
Stop creating drama. So, dude, you can always tell, like, the first 2 seasons of something like that is always really good. And then it's like, okay, all these writers are in, they're like, okay, we're going to set this drama up,
Yeah,
so,
dude. Yeah. And so and it's what's funny about, like, through that whole course of that time, me and my buddies always talked about, we should do something. We should be able to be somewhere, because we're stupid, but we're fun,
Yeah.
And so what had happened was I made a video of just me and my 2 closest buds. We were working on the Mustang and his big block Camaro, and I was just making it for us, right? It was just something goofy. It started out as 5 minutes. And then I found more footage, and it turned into a 10-minute video. And I was like, you know what? I'm turning into Martin Scorsese here. You know what I mean? And I'm doing, and I'm doing it on my phone. And so I get it done, and we go and watch it at their house. And I was like, check it out, And I was trying to cast it to the TV. I had no clue what I was doing.
So you're all huddled around.
Yeah. I got an iPhone 8, bro. I was like, here, look, be real quiet. You can't hear it.
Cupping the speaker. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I put it up against a can or something. I don't know. But and we got done watching it, and my buddy Richie was like, dude, you need to put this on YouTube. I was like, what? He goes, you need to put this on YouTube. I'm like, I don't know, dude. This is just supposed to be funny for us. Yeah. And so I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Screw it.
Yeah.
And so what I had originally planned in my head was I wasn't going to do it a lot. It was just going to be, I was going to make, because there's a lot of guys I've been around for a long time. They're great guys. And, most of the people I know in my life are from the car world, actually probably 98% of them.
Yeah.
And
me too.
Yeah. And they're the greatest people I've ever known. And we've been lifelong friends. I mean, hell, I think most of us have been friends 20 years plus. And
that's awesome.
And what I think is sad, that you can go through life and these guys that do these great things that work really well with their hands. They do good stuff, and nobody ever knows who the hell they are.
Yep.
And so my mission with it was like, hey, I'll make these little movies about you guys and your cars or whatever. And I'll do one about mine, and then we'll put it out there, and maybe somebody will, our kids one day will go back and look at it and go, oh, that's cool.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying all the time. It's Gary Vee is a big, motivator, and he said, document, don't create. And so when he, literally the second or third time I heard that, I was like, screw it, man, we're gonna record, dude. And so we'll cross tomorrow. I think we'll cross 700 videos loaded on YouTube.
Dude, that's so awesome, man.
It's crazy. So like I think about that as my grandkids will be going in and looking at. So my dad told this story of this 67 Camaro I had, blah blah blah, and do a wheelie, all that shit, And so if he had been recording shit, could have shown him. You know what I mean? He could have showed his grandkids.
Yeah.
So I'll have those videos. I'll be like, look at Paul. I was a badass.
Dude, yeah.
Put burnouts,
Man, and that's what happened. I just was like, all right, well, let's just keep doing it. I like what you said. It's not content, it's documentation. It's just documenting your life, man. Whatever it is, And this guy, come here, this is my oldest here. This is Jake. You've seen him in some of the videos probably.
Yeah.
And his little brother, I'm like, at least one day when I'm dead and gone. Right.
We hope it's a long time.
Right. It's going to be a long time from now, at least 10, 15 years. I'm just kidding. No, but look, my life, I lived a hard life, okay?
Yeah, there's things you don't know about your dad.
There's things you don't even know, kid.
You don't want to know, I promise.
Yeah, you don't want to know. But anyway, so my whole deal was like, I'm going to do this. And then one day when it's all said and done, they'll be able to go back and look at some of the journeys we took together and some of the stuff we did together. And if my friends are still around or if I outlive them, whatever, you know what I mean? We can always go back and use that as something to go back on.
That's right.
And I hope that, it ended up becoming something more than that. And it was like, you know what, I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. Yep.
It honestly, I almost enjoy making the videos more than I like to work on and racing the cars anymore.
Yeah. Dude, that's what I love podcasting because I love you being able to tell your story and, in 10 years when he's telling his story on this podcast, we'll be talking, he'll be like, oh man, yeah. And then it's going to be so awesome. It's the same thing. You can, what's funny is if I don't edit for 3 or 4 days, and then I sit down and I do one video, I'm like, oh, man, I got to knock out a quick video on what I'm doing. It ends up turning into like 3 videos at a time,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, YouTube is fun.
Dude, look what I did today. I was screwing around on Instagram. Like, I don't even know how to use that crap, dude. And I figured out how to make these reels, right? When I make 3 today.
Yeah.
And it was like I did 2 of them this morning before I started work, right? And then I took a lunch break and I made another one. I was like, this is freaking sweet, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love it,
So here's what you do: you take those reels and you put them on TikTok. And boom, you're done.
See, that's what I need. I know, but I gotta just put them on and get off
and get out of there. Don't look, dude. I'm telling you, they've got it figured out. They've got it figured out for sure.
Yeah, but so
Bad Tree Productions just popped in. You want to give a quick recap for the folks that have come in since we started on the Malibu, or do you want to go deep on the Malibu?
Dude, we can go deep in the. We can go as deep as you want. All right.
So give a quick recap of the story to when you got it, and then let's talk engine stuff.
Yeah, so found it in a hurry on Facebook. $3,400 ended up being the number. He wanted 35. I drove a hard bargain and knocked that 100 right off there. 305 was junk. Transmission was full of water. Flush transmission shift harder than the concrete I'm sitting on. It was amazing. And 305 took a crap. We took it to a buddy of mine's memorial race and drove it like 85 miles, and it ate every inch of oil it had in it and started knocking like crazy, but it made it home. 305, shout out, greatest engine on the planet. It won't get you there fast, but it'll get you there. And then we found a dually that had a running 454. Well, they say running. They fired it off for 2 seconds. The carburetor caught on fire, and I was like, "Cool, take it." And
deal.
He yanked it out, $700. I'm like, dude, Gen 4 454, $700 car to pan with the turbo 400. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got it. Put some heads on it, cleaned it up, make it look like it was rebuilt and nice and pretty. And inside, it's not. And
they call that stock bottom end now. That's a big
SBE.
deal.
It's SBE 454. And I'll get into what we're thinking on that deal later. But we threw it in there with a Howard's cam. It's a bunch of leftover parts from my buddy's Camaro, like quite literally. Like the intake, the distributor was the HEI out of the freaking 305. I mean, the cam is a $40 Howard's cam that I bought. It's not even worth. Yeah, dude, $40. I literally got the heads, the cam, the lifters, the roller rockers for $540, and they're brand new. Like they're Edelbrock RPM knockoff head.
Nice.
Like I don't like to claim that I run China parts, but hey, at $500,
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It is what it is.
You ain't gonna hurt my feelings at all.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So it runs pretty good. It doesn't run great, but it runs pretty good. Turbo 350 is still hanging in, which I have a brand new badass built Turbo 400 that I've had in the floor for 11 months waiting to go on this car, and it still hasn't broken.
So what converter's in the Turbo 350?
It is a used 2400 B&M.
Yeah, there you go.
12-inch.
Probably a Torque Master 12-inch.
Yeah, dude. It's and it works pretty deep. The intake is completely wrong. If I had the right intake on it, it'd probably be a lot snappier. But it's pretty snappy for what.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. And it's like the inside, quite literally, the biggest amount of rat nest I've ever seen in my life.
I lived in there.
Dude, days I cleaned rats out of this thing. Like, and it's funny because like when John got it, it was sitting in a field or something. But anyway, the doors, halfway up the doors were completely full of rat's nests. The entire HVAC system was completely full. The underneath of the rear seat and the front seat were chewed out, and it was all rat filled. Underneath the carpet, they got inside behind the dash. Like every once in a while, I hit a bump and a piece of rat nest still falls out of the dash.
Oh god!
Yeah, I'm like, dude, where was that?
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, so it. I think it was like 3,600 pounds when I got it, and after the rats were gone, we were about 3,420.
There you go. Yeah. What's the rear axle setup? 7.5 or?
You know it, baby.
Yes.
Lincoln Locker 28 spline Mosers with a 28 spline S10 carrier. Bring it on,
man. And it's lived. Hey, listen, I tell people all the time, traction brake stuff, burnouts. things will live forever. It's amazing what you can do.
Oh, dude, yeah. And it's been on street tires forever. I just put it on a radio because we were going to try to do some drag racing stuff with it.
You're going to break some shit now.
Well, here's the deal. I will say this. I've never broken a 7.5 in my life, and I've had about 4 of them. Now, most people are sitting at home going, that's because he never made any real power. But I will say this. Like, I had a Camaro that had a LS bolt-on stuff, and it had a 175 shot of nitrous, Yank 4,000 stall. And I can't tell you how many launches I put on that car, 149, 151, 60 foots. And I never broke it. Now, I wore the clutches out in the posi, but I never broke it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm impressed.
So I figure, hey, let's throw some money at it and put those fancy Mosier axles in it, and let's see. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's going to break the ring gear.
Eventually. I mean, it probably will, but hey, whatever. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
I'm saving up. I'm saving up for a 9-inch. That's what we want.
Nico's been on a couple times, and he put a bunch of 7.5s in on like race weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got the 4-speed car, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, yeah. So I love that car, and every time I used to watch the live feeds, I'm like, God damn, he's jamming gears. I need to be jamming gears because I'm a gear jammer guy,
Right.
And I prefer it. And so we met up with him a couple times. My buddy that was with us in the red 72 pickup that was rolling with me. I got a video of them drag racing from the stoplight.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, dude. I liked it a lot. That's cool. 7.5, dude. That's awesome.
So let's talk race week then. What's up, Destroyer? Let's talk race week.
Yeah. So
because now let me ask this: Did you go because it was coming your direction? Is that kind of where it started? Because we went Oklahoma City South and then to Tulsa, and we actually met in Stillwater, which was what, day 3, 4, 3?
Day 3. I think we did. Yeah, day 3.
Yeah, I'm going to start remembering that because it was day 3 and I only had 3 gears.
Yeah,
so I'm going to remember that from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah. You were hurting a little bit.
Still are. We haven't done anything to the car. I parked it in the garage and I've been working on the old truck and this fucking Trailblazer.
Hey, what's worse, Trailblazer or Crown Vic transmission?
Dude, I want to work on the cart. I want to. I got to put leaf springs in the truck and then I can work on the cart. But I got to finish the Trailblazer first because at some point it's gonna rain and get nasty and the truck's on radials and has no wipers. I don't want to die.
No.
Or hurt the truck.
No, you got to keep the truck safe. Yeah, don't hurt the truck. Yeah, that's I totally get it. Yeah, no. For me, with race week, it's actually been something we've been talking about, and it's mainly been me and my buddy PJ, who has the Pablo Escobar 74 Nova. It's the 4-door Nova. So he has been on my ass about doing this for 4 years, and we've gone back and forth, and it seemed like and it really starts with we had a friend of ours that was an avid drag racer. He was really good at it, great fabricator, and he ended up tragically passing away at Yellow Belly in 2016. And so for a lot of us, it put a lot of things in perspective for a little bit. And he's got a daughter, I've got kids, and so did Blake. And so we all kind of took a step back for a minute and do we really want to do this anymore? Is it anything we need to even be doing? And, after time went on, we were like, let's, we sold our stuff. I had an 03 Cobra I was doing a lot of stick stuff with. And, I had just literally fried the clutch the weekend before. And so I just ended up selling the car. I just wanted to get away from it. And then PJ sold his car. And so we were kind of in limbo for a while, and then it just came back. And we were like, you know what? Let's get back into it. And so for the last 2 or 3 years, it's been, hey man, let's go to Colorado. Let's do this Rocky Mountain Race Week deal. And I always watch it, and I'm like, dude, that's pretty far, And he's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I don't know if we'll make it.
Dude, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I want to do 1.0 so bad, but the struggle is I'm in Northwest Arkansas, and it's a lot like you. It's it's a day to get out there minimum.
It's a 7-8 day tour.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're going to be, by the way I got it figured out, 9 days minimum. Yeah. And so 9 days for me is tough, man. But we're fixing to do 11 days for sick week, so we'll see how the family fares after that. I may come home to nobody at my house, or the keys are different. But
it's gonna be sunburnt to hell, and everybody's gone. And
yeah, I'll be like, or all my shit will be in the shop. I'll have this 9x7 room will have a bed in it. They'll be like, "You live out there now."
Hey, just keep it below the camera. Nobody will ever know.
That's exactly right. It'll be over in that corner over there. I want to touch on the comments real quick. Appreciate everybody that's making comments over there. It helps us in all the algorithms, right? But 815 LSX Loves just got back from PRI. Dude, I need to have him on. So, like, Eric, let's talk 21st, 2nd, or 3rd, what you can do for PRI on that. I'm also working with the Starks, trying to figure if they can find a night to fit us in to talk about their trip to PRI. But the car tuber meetup at PRI, let's do that. I don't even know how we all get together, but let's definitely do that 2022. You can get in. I mean, you don't have to have anything crazy. You know, we're all media folks, and so that should make it pretty easy. We'll all roll in the day before. We'll just rent an Airbnb, big old house right there close, and we'll party down. So anyway, I just want to put that out there. I'm in. I want to do that. We went in 2017, and it's an awesome trip. So
yeah, I've never been able to go to PRI. I wanted to though. I need to.
It's so much fun. Now I've never been to SEMA, but we've been to PRI. And PRI is definitely race car stuff. I love it. It was just cool stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Hi, Jonathan Stonecipher.
Yeah, I've never been to SEMA. Years and years ago, I worked for a small chassis shop, and we built a body dropless chassis for a 67 C10. Back then, it was on like I think 24s and 22s, so it was a big deal back then. Yeah. It was like 2004, and but I was unable to make the trip. I worked for 48 days, day and night, building that truck, and for nothing. It was nothing, and
wow,
yeah, and it was pretty awesome. It made it into a spread magazine, and you know, it was a fun time. It was an experience for sure. I'll never do it again though.
Yeah, right. That part. Hey, Chandler Gregory, I want to say congratulations to you. I'm banned from Facebook, so I haven't even been trying to be on there. They just had their baby, so congratulations.
Oh man,
excited for you. Jonathan Stonecipher is now a grandpa. It's gonna, so you know,
woo!
It's amazing. It's amazing. So congratulations to you guys. Chandler has a 50 or 51 Chevrolet truck that's getting a LS and a full frame.
Very cool.
So, yeah, so neat stuff. He probably won't do that now because he has a baby.
Yeah, congratulations. You're going to be nesting now.
Dude, he doesn't understand the time that he'll lose. Like,
is this the first one? Is this the first
one?
Oh,
yeah.
No, you're not going to care about that truck for a while.
No. What's funny is I would tell new dads this all the time. Like, guys would be at a car show and they're like, oh, man, we're expecting you to come. I'm like, listen, bro. Like, it's okay to stare at your child for 3 hours. It's okay. Right. Like, just remember that when they're laying in that little bed and you're standing there, like, your legs are going to go to sleep. Don't lock your knees.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. Do not lock your knees. Yeah, that's true. It's the greatest thing you'll ever, like, all the stuff that we do, all the events we go to, cars, all that stuff, nothing amounts even close to having a child. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then you're reminded of that, when they look like you, and then as they get older and they start talking shit back to you, then you realize that, oh man, that's me right there.
I raised that. That's my fault.
Yeah, swing a miss.
Whip some ass. I never got good at the dad, belt whip. I never could get it past like 1 or 2 loops.
Hey, don't tell his mom. She's probably gonna end up watching this, but a little while back, she sent me in there to handle up on things, and I couldn't do it, and I was like, when I hit this against the bed, you better scream. And so he's like, ah!
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You gotta turn it up some.
Yeah, this hurts you more than it does me.
Hurts.
I mean, wait. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's funny. So 815 to answer you here. I should be back to being able to post on Facebook on Wednesday. What kills me, I'm okay with them banning my personal page, but I haven't been able to post to Narcoleptic either. So I haven't been able to do any promotion for any of the 12 Pods of Christmas, except on Instagram and a new app called Throttle, THRODLE, which I've been posting a ton on, which is a very much, it's only automotive app. So I've enjoyed my few days on it because Facebook pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, that's BS. That's
Dude,
BS.
Well,
if you want to punch somebody in a wiener, you should be able to punch somebody in the wiener.
I was just telling him I was going to punch him in the wiener. Like, I didn't show a video of me punching him in the wiener, but here we go.
So many worse things than that.
Dude,
it's just a matter of time until they find me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what happened. That's what happened.
It's funny. My wife is watching right now. She just let me know that she just heard what I said. No hablo inglés. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Anyway,
dude. So let's talk kids for a minute because we were on that.
Yeah.
So how old are your boys? Because they went on the trip with you.
Yeah. So Jake is 10. He turned 10 in October, so he was still 9 when he was with us on the trip. And then Austin is 7, and Austin doesn't get out in the garage with us as much, but he's quite the character. They're something else. They're hoot.
Dude,
but yeah, they loved it. They had it.
Yeah.
You know, I knew Jake was gonna love it, and he was pumped about it more than anybody. And we almost didn't make it, to be quite honest with you. We had I thought I had fried the transmission in this because I had a little bit of an issue, and we didn't actually get in. We were trying to get in with this, and when we signed up, like my wife and me both had like our phones and everything up, trying to get in, and she had it in the cart. She was paying for it. Like she was putting the credit card number in and we were good. And then she got kicked out right before she hit enter. And she's like, something happened. I was like, oh dude, it already filled up. And so I got kicked right into the wait list or whatever. And they said something, I don't know. We weren't that far back. But so I kind of got discouraged and I was like, well, we're not going to push forward to take this. And so we weren't going to even go at all. But PJ kept riding my butt and he's like, man, I got in. I'm like, okay, I'll rent an RV and I'll document it. And he goes, you're not renting an RV. He goes, take your car. I said, I'm not driving this thing if I can't race. It's not that comfortable. Like, I love it. It's a G-body. It's plush. Yeah. But, and so I had bought that Mustang from my buddy Blake's dad. Him and Brandon is his brother on the channel. Budget Brandon is what we call him because he's a budget guy. Yes. And he and Blake and their other brother Taylor had seen that car in his dad's garage for 20 something years and never moved. And they had rebuilt the engine 10 years before and never fired it. And then when Blake passed away, dad didn't want to touch it anymore. And so he asked me about it and he was like, hey, you remember that old Mustang I had? I said, yeah. He goes, we're going to move. I'm going to sell it. And so I had all intentions of just helping him sell it, but he made me a deal I couldn't refuse. So I bought it. Yeah. And I was like, well, let's document getting this thing back up and running for the first time in 24 or 5 years, something like that. Dude, he bought it in 97 with a busted cam lobe in it.
Wow. And never drove it. Yeah, what a cool setup. You know what I mean? And to be able to do that and get the and like we saw you guys all the time. We saw you. We were eating at the place in not Pocola, whatever the city Ponca City, and like you guys cruised by. I mean, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah, dude. So that thing, we literally, so the motor was fresh, but nothing to do with the car. Literally, he bought it not running in 97, and there's no telling how long it had been sitting before that. And the car has a true 19,000 original miles on it. Wow. I have inspection paperwork from it in 1993 or 4. With 14,000 and some change. So between 94 and 97, it wiped the cam lobe. So, here we were. I was like, well, let's see if we can get this thing running because it has AC and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, let's do it. And so we thrashed on it. We got it running and driving, and we were like, screw it, we're gonna take it. Let's go. Yeah. And so we made it, and we didn't have one problem with that car.
That's so cool.
I mean, it ran and drove like a top. So I had Brandon with me in the passenger seat. So all these years as a kid, he walked past that car in the garage and never rode in it. And me and him and my boys hopped in it and took off for 800 miles or so in it. And,
dude, that's so cool. I was going to ask how many miles you drove it.
Yeah, I think by the time we got home, we were close to 800 in it.
That's cool.
Something like that. So it was really cool, man. And it was flawless. And you know what's funny? 2 days after we got home, 2 days after we got back, I walked out into the driveway to move it in the garage, and the input shaft seal on the transmission had started puking. we put a dude by the hair,
Yes, dude, that's so great. Like that. It's just like, no, wait, just get him back home. Dude, what's funny is it probably was fine because it had swelled because of the heat of like suddenly driving,
Yeah, out of nowhere, just like, hey, we're gonna go on this long ass trip. Hope you're ready, Mustang. Let's go.
yeah. It's on a trailer to the house, repaired. Let's go. That's cool.
Yeah, and so we did it, man. And the car wasn't actually on day 2 when we came, because we went. Oh man, I'm leaving one part out. See, we had Pablo Escobar Nova, so we went through that whole debacle. That car had a 4.8 in it, and it ran fine, and it had a nice transmission, but he wanted to put a 6.2 in it. Mm-hmm. And so my buddy Dave, who's called Damn It Dave on the channel, he's an LS guy. He's got LS
Dude,
stuff
I love
everywhere.
the names. I love that everybody has names. That's so great. Cars names, people's names. I love it. Yeah,
Damn It Dave and Oscar the Grouch. So that guy, he's the LS guru, man, and nice. I love Dave to death. He's an interesting, intricate fella, and I like him, and I give him a big old kiss on the cheek if he's here right now. But anyway, he had a 6.2 that was cracked, and so PJ, it was cracked by an oil galley, and he was like, "This thing's junk," And PJ's like, "Screw it, let's weld it up and let's put some quick steel on it, and let's see if we can make it work." Well, A and B epoxy, but so they did that, and we put it all together and put it in the car, and it ran great. He bought some Frankenstein ported heads for it, and a T-Rex cam, and piston valve clearance was like, and so
you guys worried about that? That's impressive.
Well, we usually don't. Quite honestly,
they're hidden.
You've seen the way I fly cut pistons in the past. You'd be like, okay, so we stuck it in there and rolled it over a few times. Like, hey, it's not hitting, And ran a borescope in, and look, we're gas. Screw it, let's go. And so we threw it in, got it done, got it running, and after it warmed up, it started leaking oil again. Oh man! And so we're, I think, 12 days before we had to leave. Not even. No, it was like a week and a half. I think maybe 8 days. And so PJ had to make a decision. He was like, I can't find another short block. I'm like, well, let's just put the 4.8 back in it. And he goes, that's not going to be any fun. And so he called Leah. There's a shop here called Oaks Performance. Leah Oaks is a no prep racer. She has a Fairmont station wagon with a twin turbo LS in it. And nice. Her husband has a machine shop. And so he called Gary and was like, hey dude, I need an aluminum 6.2. Do you have one? And he goes, I've got a block. I've got the stuff to make a stroker. And he goes, okay. And he goes, when do you need it by? And he goes, let's see. If this was on a Thursday, right? Thursday evening. He goes, if I could have it by Saturday, that'd be good. And he's like, Saturday when? He goes, this Saturday. Like, he's like
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days Saturday. And he was
32 hours from right now.
He was like, I could probably make that happen, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. And he's like, I looked at him. I was like, screw it, dude, just do it. You already do this. Let's go.
Yeah, dude,
and so
pay it. It's easy.
He had to build him a 404 aluminum stroker for it. We threw it in the car 4 days before we had to leave, and drove it around. And the day we were leaving, we were in the Mustang. We stopped by Walmart to get a couple of SD cards, and he was rolling through the parking lot idling, and it back popped through the carburetor and bent the valve.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah. So we trailered it back to the house, parked it, and got my Durango and left. And then so we talked ourselves into driving the Mustang in the 72 or the 73 Mustang. Yeah, it was a nightmare, but it was a journey, dude. It was awesome.
Oh man, what's the setup in the truck?
The C10, 350 right now, but you're gonna see some videos on that thing pretty soon because it has. He has now purchased a real nice 496.
Oh,
and big block Chevy, and it is getting a 871 blower shop blower.
Yes.
And so that, and it's gonna have fuel injection. It's gonna do the twin sniper.
Yeah,
injection.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and so that
may fit under the hood of that truck with the 8. No, it'll come out of the hood.
Yeah, it'll come out. Yeah, it'll come out of the hood. Yeah, so
there's not a better way to do that, dude. Listen, when I think I saw the Malibu a couple days ago or like a month ago with the Lexan scoop.
Oh yeah.
So, listen to me. I'm telling you.
Right there.
Yeah, that's like the money, man. There's just something about the way that hood slopes and just feeds right in. I'm like, yes.
So my son's watching right now, and I'm gonna have to tell you, It was all his idea, and it was actually we had to get. I do a lot of things, and I have to have my kids' input, and so I let them make some decisions on some stuff because that's what it's all about. How are you going to ever get them intrigued and interested in it if you don't let them partake, right? And so I bought that scoop a long time ago, maybe about a year and a half ago, because when I first started putting the motor together, I was like, it's not going to fit underneath the hood. And when I got it all together, it did close. And I was like, I'm keeping the stock hood. Super sleeper, you know? And so it's been sitting on the shelf here forever. And he was like, can we ever put the scoop on the car? I was like, you want to put the scoop on the car? He goes, yeah. I was like, cool, we're going to make a video. We're going to cut a hole in the hood.
Yeah, dude, it's a great video too.
Yeah, so we did. We just went at it, and Austin agreed to it. So hey, we got agreements across the board. My wife actually told me, because after they said, yeah, I was out here looking at it. And she came outside, and I was like, I don't know. And she goes, would you just quit being and just do it? And I was like,
cut that hood. Who cares? It's a hood, bro.
Well, you know what?
The paint matches. All the paint matches.
Yeah. So all right, screw it. There we go. And then we did, and it's. This car is weird because I go through cars like underwear. I really do. I probably had 100 or more cars, and
dude, that's nuts, man.
Yeah, dude. It's actually a going joke. Like my buddy Richie's like, he changed cars like underwear because I would literally have one for 6 months, a year, work on it, do some stuff, make it better, and then move on because I have ADHD. It's a mental illness.
Here's the thing. Like, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you take a car that may need a little bit of work. And some dude, like, you get it going, you take a couple cruise nights, you have some fun. Some other guy wants it to mess with. Then, like,
that's kind of, that's kind of the way I am. But when it came to this car here, I've thought about getting rid of it a couple times. I actually had envisioned for a minute turning the '73 Mustang into a twin turbo job and doing something with that. But my kids like this thing too much, and so the Mustang's got to go. So the Mustang's up for sale, and as soon as it sells, then I got to pay the wife back the money I owe her.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe. And then, I love you. Yeah. I'm going to pay you back. And she's there going, you owe me a lot more than that.
She's like, listen to you, son of a bitch.
But so we have some big plans for this next year, and
do you want to get into some of that, or
we can.
So let's do this. Let's talk about plans for that car, and then let's get into some of the event stuff that you're working on. Because I know if you do that, what you're probably planning to the car, it'll probably go into what you're planning with the event. So let's do that.
Okay, yeah. So what I have a motor at the machine shop right now. It's a 496, and so we're gonna do a 496 in the car. 454 is going to come out. I have another 496 stroker crank, a fully weighted crank that I thought about building an extra engine for either some other project or a backup for this.
Yeah, just damn it to have,
Yeah.
Are you rich or something? You rich?
Hell no, I'm broke as hell. But I tell you what, I have a great community of friends, and
there you go.
And it's one of those deals where, like, if I have something somebody needs, I get to the point where I don't sell anything anymore. Like, I have stuff. If I have something somebody needs, I give it to them. You know what I mean? And so we kind of worked that way. And actually, how I acquired the 496 was an old friend of mine. He used to run a wheelie truck called the Texas Bandit. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but he used to shoot 40-foot flames, and he traveled all around the U.S. And he was an old school wheel stander guy who would actually run them out the back door 130 miles an hour instead of doing the exhibition stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so he is a bracket racer now. He's in his late 60s, so he does bracket racing now, and he has extra motors and stuff laying around. And he had that out of an old bracket car. And it's got a Crower 4340 Forge balance crank. I got that, ARP studs, a nice dampener for $500 standard board.
Hey, dude, that's awesome. The crank is worth that. You know what I mean?
It's a 4-bolt block, 4-bolt Gen 4. And so anyway, I dropped it off at the machine shop. Second opinion, they have an engine machine shop that I used to work at called H&H Racing Engines, and they're over in Haltom City. And Johnny's the machinist over there. He does a really good job. And so he's looking at it for me, making sure, he's going to tell me what it needs. We're about, I think, a month out on that. And then obviously we're going to need parts. I'm going to need a set of rods and pistons. So we don't know what kind of hurdles we're going to face on that one. But the cool part is Damn it, Dave has instilled in my head to let go of carburetors. And I'm a carburetor guy, right? I'm not an EFI guy.
Well, screwdriver.
Yeah.
Get it right. I can get it right. Hang on.
I got a jet kit right over here.
Yep.
You know,
That's
so but he's an EFI guy, and he's always telling me, you know, like, hey, you need to get into EFI, let the carburetor stuff go. So I've actually found a guy.
Man, I like
it. Yeah, he is. He's he gets in your ear right here, and he just won't leave until he gets what he wants. And so you get what you want, Dave.
Yeah.
And so I've made a deal with a guy. I'm gonna swap one of the cranks I have for a Holley Super Sniper kit.
Oh, cool.
So we're gonna do a Holley Super Sniper on it. We're gonna probably put it on the 454 and make some videos of that and just get used to it, so I can get used to tuning it and stuff like that. And when the motor's ready, we'll swap it out, swap the motor out, and then put that back on. And then I'll put the new transmission in with the new motor. And then Dave is also talking me into putting turbos on the car. So we're gonna do a twin 78 setup with a Holley Super Sniper. And and then I'm probably gonna have to get 3 or 4 pairs of underwear to change into every time I drive it, because
dude, because what'll be cool about that car is just the instant, like that truck or that motor will already make what, 500 or 600 foot-pounds.
Yeah, it should make 600. Yeah. So it'll be,
and then boost, and then like just instant burnouts, man.
So I don't have a trans brake. So we were talking about it, and we were originally thinking of doing like twin 69s. But you know, he's like, you may not have room to grow if you want to. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about here. I'm a carburetor nitrous guy, so you just tell me what to buy, and I'll buy it, Dave. And then if it's too expensive, I'll go, no, find cheaper. And so
we need some more China. We need some more China parts, bud. China turbos.
Yeah. So
there's more hot rod parts built in China than there are in America. We're probably the biggest ones.
It's so sad too. You know, it's like, God dang it.
Hey,
but
that's all right.
You know, so the 496s with twin 78s, it ought to light off pretty good, and it ought to be good enough to where maybe I don't have to put a trans brake in it. I can just foot brake the car. Yeah, because I'm an old school guy. I like foot braking. I'm just not a trans brake guy, and I could make the 7.5 live a little longer by foot braking.
I doubt it, dude. That thing is gonna just like, it's gonna spit an axle just instantly.
We're gonna see how far that damn thing will go before it eats.
How far that axle's gonna go?
Yeah.
Dude, hey, here's the deal. I said earlier, traction brake stuff, man. If you don't ever put a tire on that car and just run around with like some old BFG Goodrich, you know, whatever that Comp TA tire.
That's what I have.
Yeah, dude, you'll be fine, man. You'll be fine. It'll be good.
Yeah.
The tire will just burn off.
Probably put it around a pole when boost rolls in. No,
man, hey, there's nothing like it. Like the old truck, it drives like a regular 4.8. It probably makes, I would say, 250, 300 horsepower, maybe. Yeah. You know, until boost comes in, and then it's like just a punch. It's like, yeah. And so, you know, the whole reason I bought a really nice converter was because I wanted my wife to be able to drive it, right? Mm-hmm. So she drove it one time and broke it. And I told her, I was like, listen, you can drive this just like you drive your daily driver. You just get in, you ease on the throttle before you leave the stoplight, all this kind of stuff, and it'll drive fine. And it does that. I was like, but when I was talking to TCI, I was like, here's the deal. I want to be able to be rolling in second and mat it, and it just instantly flash when I'm being boosted, and it blows the tires off. Like, burnouts and ice cream. That's all that truck's built for. And it does that perfectly. It instantly lights to like 3,800 and just smoke. And then on diesel, it's oil smoke. And, man,
hey, but it's camouflaged in all the tires.
Yeah, it's getting way worse. So I got on it the other day, and it started fuel cut because the O2 sensor was seeing a bunch of oil smoke.
Oh, really?
So I just got in it harder. So it doesn't.
That's what you do. It'll clean out. My buddy Eric says about nitrous, he goes, if it's not running right or you think your plugs are a little foul, just bang the button a few times. Nitrous cleans all that shit up.
Yep.
Doesn't Boost do the same thing? He just kind of wipes it away.
Yep. I don't care. It can wipe a piston. I don't care at this point. I just want it to be spectacular, and I want to have my camera with me.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man.
I've got a ton of videos where I'm just driving along, and I'll hit record and just mat it and just stay in it. And I'm like, Is it coming apart? Is it? Oh no, it's fine.
Okay. You know what's funny? I was telling my buddy the other day. I said, when I was like 20, right, 20, 21, somewhere around there, dude, I didn't have a care in the world. If it ran decent, I'd beat the snot out of it, right? And it's now like when I hit it every time, I'm like, oh God, like every RPM that climbs, I'm like, there goes the wrist pin, there goes the rings. I bet the oil's 230 degrees. Like I'm just funny. Like, it's different now. And my son, Jake would be like, just get on. I'm like, it's not that simple. It's not that.
No, listen, the new motor's not ready yet. Ready yet. I don't want the car to be down.
Yeah, so Dave wants to do the setup on this 454, going back to the SBE thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, let's put those turbos on this 454. And I've never seen anybody push a 454, stock 454, see what it'll do.
Yeah.
So we're considering maybe doing that, maybe just pulling it out because the oil pressure is not real great in it. And I don't know if it has enough oil pressure to keep the turbos oiled. So,
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, like when it gets hot, it's at 5-ish.
Oh, yeah.
At idle, and then,
yeah,
and it's awesome
because you're keeping it about 1,400 RPMs at a stoplight to keep it about 10 or 12.
Yeah. Well, a big block only needs 5 to stay alive, and so it holds on to that 5. But what concerns me is at 3,000 RPMs, it's at 30. And when you flat foot it to 6,000 RPMs, it's at 30. So,
ooh.
It doesn't burn any oil though. I mean, I will give it that. The damn thing will not eat. I haven't put oil in this thing in a year.
Have you checked it?
Uh-oh.
Dude, I'll
check it after this.
It don't use no oil. I ain't put no oil in it.
You're not gonna believe this. This thing's got all kinds of oil pressure now.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So let's talk about let's talk about your year. You guys probably are like us. You don't really have a down season. You're not like 815 is in Illinois. Like those guys, their shit's up for 3 months now. You guys are probably like us. Like you probably have a longer season than we do. Even I mean, I went to a car show Saturday.
Yeah, usually we do. Well, actually, there's a race here on January 15th that we're probably going to take. My buddy Richie's, he's got a 96 Camaro with a 632 and a 6-speed in it.
Come on.
That's another long story.
Dude.
And it's fixing to get a F2 mid-mount Pro Charger.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So he's not decided whether he's going to go after the stick shift guys. He wants to go play with the grub worm guys, but I don't know if he's going to get there. So we may dial it back and put a Turbo 400 in it. And but anyway, he's still trying to figure that game out. But I forgot where I was going with this. What were we saying?
We're talking about events and your car season there.
Right. Yeah. So they're doing a stick shift event. There's a guy named TJ Bailey that does a big race, 2 or 3 times a year here at the Motorplex. And there's one on the 15th, which is pretty awesome of January. That's going to be pretty neat. And I think we're going to take Richie's Camaro there. I don't know. I thought about taking this, but it's a 1/4 mile race.
Yeah.
And
you don't have the gear for that.
No, I have a feeling when I get that thing in high gear or 3rd gear, it's either transmission or rods for bearings. Something's coming out. So I don't know if we'll take this. I need to get the program right on this deal. This is still just a street beater for now until I can get everything else done, which it'll probably take me a while. But we'll document the whole deal, and if people like watching it, and it's one of those things where I'm not rich, so I have to really. I gotta do some.
That's why you gotta get that YouTube money, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's where I was getting at. I've enjoyed doing this so much, and I'm really mad at myself that I didn't start doing this a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed doing this so much that I told my wife, I said, if I can grow the channel in the next 2 years, this is what I want to do. Yeah. And, I hope that it's feasible. I think that other people can obtain that goal. I don't see why I can't. Yeah. I try to make it entertaining. I don't want people to get bored with what we're doing, right. And that's why I'm really glad that I'm surrounded by so many good friends that have different things going on that we can document. And I hope I can keep it going, man. Like that's my goal is I want to keep it going. You guys are killing it. I mean, I know you got goals.
We're not killing it, but we're
To me, you guys are, because I mean, the main thing in this whole deal, like doing this YouTube thing, is not getting discouraged, and it's easy to do. I mean, you put out a video and you're like, man, this is my best work. And like, I've got a video, for instance, right now out on Jacoby's Regal, the big wheel car. And that was like snippets of video over the course of like 6 months.
Right.
But things were moving slow with him and what he was doing. And I really didn't have enough. And we went to Whip Fest with him, and then he wanted to tear his car apart. So, I just slammed a bunch of stuff together just to kind of get the car on the channel. And it's my highest viewed video. Like,
I'll never understand what
the freaking ones I spend all the time on to really edit up and make it really good. Just
bro, I live that life.
You too?
Live it, man. I'm telling you. Like, I'll spend 2 hours putting one together, man. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, oh, I'll
2 hours
tags, and then like it's 2 hours to load. It's like the whole thing. You're like, oh, this is gonna be great. I share it everywhere. It gets 40 views in a week. I'm like,
I know, right? You like, I've sat on the back porch and told my wife, like, I don't know, man, because I literally stay up. Like, I don't know how you do yours, and I know you're busier. I don't know how you keep up. I don't know how you do it. I'm impressed with you.
Listen, if my wife is watching, the only way I can keep up is because she's amazing. And she handles everything else that goes on in this house.
And that's my wife too, because I can't tell you. I mean, hell, we had a night where the kids were gone, and we could have had some time together. And I was like, man, there's this deal. I really wanted to go film it. She's like, just go. I'm like, and
she's like, get the hell out of here. I want to get wine and watch a movie.
I'm watching all my Christmas movies. I'm doing it right now.
Yep.
And so, but you're right, 110%. Like, I know that without her, that I wouldn't have the drive to do it, because I wouldn't have the backing to do it. And so there are so many nights that I will stay up. Like last night, I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to put together all this film that I've taken and snip out what I don't need and add in what I do. And, then you do something, and the next night you go, let's re-review what I did last night and then see what we can change or what I need to add. And then you're like, I don't even like this. I'm going to scratch this, because you watch it so much. You're like, I'm tired of looking at this shit.
Yeah.
And, but when you get views, and you see people are enjoying it, it's like, that to me is like, okay, it's cool. So 4 nights a week I usually dedicate to doing it. And then I film on the weekends whenever we have something going on. And like, I'm trying to get creative with the holidays because, there's not a lot happening right now.
Well, you don't have a lot of time. So I haven't been recording the Trailblazer, which typically if we're working on stuff, I'm kind of recording a little bit because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, it's always going to have that little content. I feel like we're building a brand where people want to watch what's going on with us, not necessarily that we're building something, And so I haven't recorded anything with the Trailblazer. So I'm getting like really nitty gritty here on my stuff that I have still. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how much longer I can bring.
Hey, you hold out. Yeah.
No, I'm just going to pop out this little video,
Yeah, so. It's very, but what I like about it is it's challenging. It's like, okay, what can I pull out of my ass today?
Yeah, and dude, there's nothing like getting up in the morning and something has had, like you've had a good day the day before. Like the view count has been up. You're like, I don't even know what I did, but it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we did one on doing the frame rails, and I put it on a couple of Malibu forums.
Yep.
And our pages on Facebook forums. Look at me. That's I'm telling you,
you're all
the forums. Yeah. And then it just like took off, man. I started getting like view after view. I'm like, hell yeah, this is odd. This is great, Yeah, come on, baby. And then it crest. I was like, no,
this is the one.
Damn, plateau. Kind of like everything else, just plateau, and then But it's cool though, because I know that you guys have what it takes. I like what you guys do. And listen, I'm not a big podcast guy. I've never actually listened to podcasts until I met you.
Oh, dude, I love them. I appreciate that though.
I only listen to yours though.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you, man?
I don't know.
I'm a shitty one compared to everybody else.
But I like it because it's real. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people out there that have made it or that are doing big things. And that's the whole thing with me. Like with my channel, what I'm trying to do is like, this is real life shit, right? This This is, you got kids, you've got college coming up, but you can't quit being a kid in your own mind. So don't sink more than $10,000 because this, I'm telling you, even with the turbo shit and everything, it's gonna be dirt ass cheap. It's a bunch of sleight of hand shit. I mean, I asked my wife. I told her, I said, hey, look, I want to put EFI on the car, and I've got this extra crank, and this crank's $1,800. I can do some sleight of hand. You know what I mean? Like I can do this, and so you just do whatever we have to do to make it work. And that, but you have guys like my buddy Richie. He's figured out life quite a bit, and you know he's able to buy the nice things. I mean, he drove to Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, to buy his Pro Charger, and paid $7,000 for it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and like he's got it sitting in the floor. If I had $7,000 sitting in the floor, I'd be like, I got to figure out how to get this damn thing on here because I got to justify
it's either getting on here or I'm going to sell it and buy a whole other car. Yeah.
Right. And he said, how long did is Bad Tree Productions? Are you asking me how long I took to make videos?
Yeah. So his question for podcast folks that are listening, he said, Bad Tree Productions asked, how long did you all spend editing your first videos? I'm guessing we were all brand new to it at the beginning. My first 15-minute video took 12 hours. Let me tell my story real quick. So
yeah, you go for it.
Editing on your phone on iMovie is harder than editing on a laptop from a GoPro. I'll say that. Okay. I edited probably 150 videos on my iPhone. Okay. I would be up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning editing, you know, cutting because your fingers are too fat to cut well. And then, but moving your videos from your iPhone to your computer sucks. Like you can't find them, all this kind of stuff. So I bought a GoPro. Once we did that, I mean, really, when I'm shooting, I'm thinking of the shot that I can then cut. So like we don't do a lot of recuts, and it's typically like if it's 3 or 4 hours worth of work in the shop that I'm editing, I can generally, I mean, I have a pretty good idea of what is going to happen, and I can just chop that stuff out. So really, I don't spend a ton of time editing. What I add now is titles and audio. The audio is probably the hardest for me. So yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, no, I agree. So my first video, the Tres Amigos, that one took me about a month on my phone. I can't. Yeah. So audio was a major learning curve for me because when I first put it up, I think I had to take it down immediately because it was like. So
you're like, oh no.
Yeah. So I did that one by the phone, and I made a couple other ones that I never put out, and I showed my wife. And my wife's like, hey, you know, let's invest in you some equipment, you barbaric moron, and let's get you a nice.
My fingers are too big.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Yeah. So we bought this Mac I'm talking to you on, and 110% agree with you. Doing a GoPro or an SLR, whatever, a really nice camera that has the removable thingies. Yeah, that thing.
Dang, you're so fancy.
I don't have one. I got a PowerShot Canon, and I don't even use it anymore because it only does 1080. And I got sick and tired of it ruining my 4K stuff. So that was a learning curve for me too. But I also figured out that I didn't realize the first 3 or 4 videos I put out, I have to wait for YouTube to process the video. And so I think the first 3 videos I put out were in 360. So you're like, God dang, it's like watching the television back in 95, you know? So, so I learned from that. And, but yeah, no, it's much faster now. I'm a little harder on myself, and I'm not very computer literate. So I critique myself over and over again. So it usually takes me about 3-4 days to edit a video. If it's a good 30-minute video, 40-minute video or something like that. My videos are a little long, but.
So let's talk about that for a second. Because do you follow Alex Taylor?
Actually, you know, it's funny. I met her and her dad at a hotel on day 4, and super awesome people.
Yes.
In Tulsa, maybe it was day 3, just Tulsa, I think.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that they had a channel, and my son Jake's like, you know, Alex Taylor's got a channel. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. So I haven't watched anything yet. He has.
Oh, dude,
I haven't.
She's a big deal. But her stuff, 30, 40. She put a video out there that was 55 minutes long, and it has me. You know, early on, I typically would do one video for every night we worked in the shop. Mm-hmm. So it'd be like 2 or 3 hours worth of work cut into 6 or 7 minutes, right?
Right.
And so Now we spread stuff out quite a bit more, but it's really hard for me to put out a 30-minute video because you've got to watch that thing like 4 times. Dude, I don't have 30 minutes to watch that shit. You know what I mean? I'm like jamming stuff. I'm like, okay, I remember doing that. Yeah, I'll just fast forward to it. Blah, blah, blah. You know, and then I watch it later, like once it's been up for a week. I'm like, why did I leave that in there? Oh my God, that was so stupid.
Yeah, I've caught myself doing that too.
Yep.
It's a never-ending critiquing of oneself. It
oh
is,
yeah, for sure.
You know, and the biggest thing is like, you don't want people to feel awkward when you're filming them, and that's what I told everybody. Like I try to tell them, hey, I'm just going to turn this thing on. We're just going to be us. It's just us.
Yep.
And so none of the stuff we do is any ad lib crap. It's just us, and we're just stupid like that. If you were to walk in, we've said it a million times, if you were to either tap into our phone conversations or walk into a room, you would think that somebody has been left the front door of the insane asylum open, and and we were friends in the ward, and we're just out congregating in public, and so it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. But usually, like when I film, gosh, I think like I did a video on this little drag strip up here in Nakona called Indian Valley Dragway, and I've never been there. I don't know if you were able to catch it or not, but it's a long video, but it's a very cool, it's an old airstrip, and
cool.
It's old asphalt. And I'm telling you, man, the shutdown area, dude.
A little nervous.
Oh, well, I thought it was all dirt from the videos I had seen, because as soon as they go through the traps, all of a sudden there's a plume of smoke. And so we went to walk the track as Dave was racing, and we took the Malibu out there. I was just going to just play with it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, anyway, place is awesome. It's an amazing video. I spent a lot of time editing that thing. I took like 5.5 hours of video, I think.
Wow.
And I had to cut it down. And that's, you know, but you want to make sure you get the key points in there, and it's time consuming. You're right. By the time it goes out, I've probably viewed it at least 6 times.
Yeah.
You know, and then.
So think about that, like a 30-minute video, you've already watched 3 hours of it.
Yeah.
You're like you've seen, I don't want to even look, I don't even want to share it because I'm like, F this video.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and you know, and so, but the reason why, like somebody said something about attention spans, and that's the thing. Like I have a hard time grasping because I'm not. I have ADHD. However, I'm like I will sit there and watch Derek from Vice Grip Garage. I will watch his hour-long show, and he does a bunch of them. You know, and you're just like, okay, so. For me, and then so you know, you're like, well, are you doing this for you? Are you doing it for everybody else? Well, I'm doing it for me to begin with, right? And
you
it has to start with,
yourself.
And if you do something for everybody else, you're never going to please anybody. You're not going to please yourself. And so, I do it for me. And I've had a couple of people comment before, you need to cut this down, cut the funny stuff, cut that. But you know what? This is my channel. This is what I do. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
Yep.
Right. And at the end of the day, I want people to enjoy it, and I definitely listen to positive. You know, I love criticism, you know what I mean? Like it's okay. But I feel like you can't really get to know people or get to know what they're about or what you're trying to do in a 15-minute video or 10-minute video sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it's like, what are you trying to accomplish here? And all I'm trying to accomplish is good entertainment.
The ADHD gang. Yep.
Yeah, dude. ADHD gang, baby. Yeah.
Man. And you know, it's funny because like, thinking of that as you're editing a video, like, how your brain squirrels off on stuff. Well, like the best part is you can like take maybe some of that energy and move it towards a different part of the video, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Like the video that reel I made today about what you do in the shop. Do you see that?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that was a video that was just taken, like, I don't know, when we were doing the frame rails, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, of us dancing in the shop. We're just being stupid. And it just came to me, you know, I was just like, hey, wait a minute. We could do something like this and something like this. And then I used some footage from months ago with a funny face at the end. I'm like, dude, that's funny.
Yeah. And what's great is like, that is perfect, like filler material, you know, like, and I'm looking at Instagram anymore as like something I can update everybody on. Like we've started a Patreon, so we post over there a ton. Like if you think we post on Instagram or Facebook a bunch, you'd
I'm not on that.
You'd hate to see our Patreon feed. The struggle we have is for what I want to do, I just need a little more support, and I think the Patreon will allow me to do that, and also give a good trade, for folks that enjoy the channel, that want to support, that don't necessarily catch every live feed or something like that when they can donate.
Yeah, so, that's something I'd like to look at. I'll talk to you more about that because I don't know much about it. I'm learning. I know you're learning too, but I'm way behind you. I'm way behind you.
The hard part I have, like with Patreon, is that, like, that's another app that you would have to go and follow us on. I'm like, that's the only struggle I have with that. But
right,
for memberships, we had looked into memberships on YouTube, and I feel like we post so many other places that I just couldn't. I didn't want to just pigeonhole ourselves to YouTube.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah,
because YouTube for us is video stuff, and like everything else is typically pictures and short videos. Stephen Darks says it best for himself. The struggle is I suck at recording. Listen, all the shit we've done has been me. If y'all had been watching stuff he had done for 5 years, for 3 years really on YouTube hard, we'd be Derek at Vice Grip Garage. I'm telling you, he's a great fabricator. He's not a kid anymore. He's a great fabricator and all that kind of stuff. So
dude.
He has a camera now and it's on. So he's turning out some good stuff. Wood Metal Garage just popped in. He's asking us to Sweet Brown ride. Big Block Malibu. Lexan Hood Scoops.
It doesn't need it, but it's got it.
Hey, whatever, dude. It looks so great with it.
It's like a street freak.
Yeah, right. Let's. I want to say hi to Brailsford's rides too. That dude's got two super cool. We were talking about kids earlier. He's got a Boss 302, 2010 model body style, I guess, and has two matching, painted to match power wheels for his son. So super cool setup.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, really neat stuff. So Ryan has two sons as well, and I have two daughters. 2012. Yeah, sorry. Hey, I was close. It's 2010 body style, I said.
Yeah. The retro style. I like that.
That's
we used
right.
to have an 11. I loved it.
Yeah, great cars. And then Dirty Panda says that's the Malibu. Yeah. But before we get into events that you have coming up, because you're hosting some events, let's talk about names before everybody that's just coming in. Like, dude, car names are necessary. You have to name cars. You just have to, especially if you're building a brand like what you're building. Everybody has to have a name. Stanley, all that kind of stuff. So run through the list of car names that's in the group, and then names of people that you call, like Oscar the Grouch and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'll start with Honcho. The reason why this car is named Mike Honcho is, if you haven't, I know you have.
Yeah.
There's a scene in what is it?
Talladega
Nights. Yeah, where John C. Reilly's talking about spreading his butt cheeks for Playgirl magazine, and to me, the brownish, goldish, just like it like if I shaved all this off and just left the Fu Manchu, I'd fit perfect in it.
Yes.
So we dubbed it Mike Honcho, and so on the channel we've got the Pablo Escobar Nova, and so the reason why that car got that name is actually this was supposed to be El Chapo.
Oh, nice.
We decided because El Chapo's still alive, might not be a good idea to run around El Chapo in the back of it.
Yeah.
Or I might be El 86 So but he had already named his car Pablo Escobar, and the reason why we named it that is because his car just looks like something some drug lords in Colombia would have his goons driving around in, muscling people around, right? 4-door brown piece of crap Nova, and that's it. So Pablo Escobar, which his car is actually not a piece of crap, it's actually a pretty clean car. But yeah, Pablo Escobar is the reason why that car's named that. And then Dave, I'm not really sure. I think I know Dave named Oscar the Grouch because that car is like the death of him. Okay, the Mustang. I've known Dave. I've probably only known Dave maybe 6 years. I don't know, something like that. Maybe 6, 7-ish, maybe. And in the time I've known him, he's had more engines in that car than I've ever had in my life, I think.
Oh, my God.
So he was a small block Ford guy at first, using micro squirt. and he was going through his own tuning problems, and that car just beat him to death. And then finally he went to the LS platform, and he went through his own set of woes with that. But he's learned his way, and now that car's freaking flying, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Richie has the Camaro, the 96 Camaro. It's called the Flight Risk. He's just kind of always named his cars that. Not really sure. It's a cool name, though. You know,
yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's the Flight Risk Camaro. Brandon, he's got the Budget Brandon. He's got the Bizquick Fairmont, and the reason why it's called Bizquick is because it looks like some cake mix or some pancake mix. Yeah, and so he also has another Fairmont you haven't seen called Ron Burgundy because it's Burgundy. Yeah. Yes. And he also has a bullnose like 82 F-150 short bed with a turbo 302 and a T5 in it, I think, or a 5-speed.
I bet that's fun, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got my old FR 500s off my Cobra on it. It's pretty sweet. It's Vicky swapped, so it's setting down low. Yeah. It was his brother's. He obtained that, and he finished it. And so there's that. And then who else have we got on there? Gosh darn it. Yeah, the Under Pressure Mustang, my buddy Eric's little turbo Mustang. That thing, he traded a broken motorcycle for that car. When I say broken, and this kid, it was a 4-cylinder car, and this kid was trying to swap a 302 into it, put the motor in it, never finished it, traded him for the broke motorcycle. We took it out, SBE, cleaned it up. Put some nice heads on it, nice cam, and it's got I think a 70 on it, I think it's got a 70 on it. And we just did the Phi-Tech setup on it. And so we just call it the Under Pressure Mustang because it's under boost and we like ZZ Top.
Nice.
So, but we always have to have names for our stuff. It just makes it more fun that way. The Mustang, the 73 Mustang is Ariana Grande. Because it's a Grande Mustang.
Yeah, dude, that's great. Like, so people miss that so much, especially if you're like building a brand like what you're building. Like you've got to have, people have to be able to connect with that at a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So that's it. And I'm forgetting about JR, my buddy Michael. He's PJ's brother. He has the Fairmont wagon. It's called Bacon Strip because it's got the wood paneling down the side.
Yes.
And he's actually redoing the wood paneling. He's doing all the vinyl again, and it's going to be in the form of bacon.
Oh, that's even cooler. Man, I like your guys' style. That's what that is so much fun.
We're just quirky, dude, man. We like to have fun with it, because I think that's what the problem is with the world is that, what I've noticed in racing, especially in racing, that people either take it way too serious and the fun leaves it. And like for us, when we were doing a lot of the street stuff back before Street Outlaws got big and all that kind of stuff, and we used to go up to Oklahoma all the time to race those guys, and it was very stressful, and I think that sometimes people get so involved in being competitive that they lose sight of what it's all about. And it's about being competitive, but it's about having a good time. And the thing of it is, like, our sport is trying to slowly dwindle, obviously. Like we all were talking about electric cars and stuff like that. I know that's not killing drag racing, but it's helping kill drag racing. And
for sure.
And it's mainly these kids are growing up and they're not involved. And I try to keep my kids as involved as I can because we got to pass it on. If we don't pass it on, it dies with us, and that would be a damn shame because I have literally met the best people in my life because of shit like this.
100%.
And so imagine
saying what you're saying there just made me realize, as with how we can teach our kids about cool, weird cars, if we can teach those kids about that, they'll always be, oh, well, so-and-so has a new BMW EV. Oh, well, that's cool. I drive a 72 Nova, or whatever.
Right.
And they'll be like, what? That's cool. And, that was always why I liked the old truck, because back then nobody built that first gen C10 stuff.
Dude, there's nothing like driving an old car, whether it be, and there's nothing like driving something you put your hands on and put together and made it your own. And, I used to drive around, like, I make fun of my buddy Greg. Oh yeah, he's got the Bad Rat Camaro. But he's older. I think he just turned 60 or 61. I don't know. But he's above me. And He comes from that era of like he just liked people looking at his car and having a good time. And I was kind of on the back end of that. And I used to remember sitting at a red light, and I had a 64 Chevelle. It was black on black, 4-speed, 327, it had Kragers on it. And I'd be sitting at a red light, and I couldn't tell you, I could never go anywhere without somebody pulling up and going, man, that's so badass. I used to have one of those, or man, that's so cool. Or, and then I'd do a burnout for him or whatever. And it made me feel good because, hey, that guy likes what I got going on, or that, whoever, right? That kid, whatever. And then I'm making them relive good memories that might spark something in them to go back and do something that they quit once before.
And dude, I wonder how many people have like that, say in their 40s, they raising kids, they sold that hot rod car, and then they see one, going to a car show is different than seeing one at a gas station. You talk to a dude for 20 minutes. Yeah. And you go home and you're like, okay, I'm building one. I wonder how many times that's happened,
Man, I bet more than you would probably think. Yeah. And because sometimes that's all it takes. Like the building the car stuff is like the car itself is just a car. I mean, at the end of the day, it really is. Yeah. It's the camaraderie that comes along with it. Oh, right? Yeah. Like when I have all my buddies over here working on the car with me, it's I don't know. It's an irreplaceable feeling, right? Yeah. And I think that some people let go of those things and never come back. Like my buddy Clayton, I mean, we were racing every weekend. He was a fabricator. He was underneath his truck, or he had a Malibu too. He had a 79, I think. And he got burned out and he walked away from it. And to this day, and this is like 15 years later almost, to this day, he won't touch them. I asked him the other day, I was like, hey, why don't you get a Malibu? Let's just put together. Nope, I won't do it. And it just burned him the wrong way. And that's what I'm talking about. Like you can't lose sight of the feeling that it gives you because of some stress. Like, to be honest, like racing with Dave opened up my eyes to making this more of a competitive car with the turbo setup and stuff, because I literally had the best time racing with him than I think I've ever had.
That's awesome.
He was just happy. He was in good spirits. These guys were trying to double team him because it was a team on team deal, and his whole team got knocked out first round. He made it. So they were trying to push him out so they could split the pot. And I told him, hey, man, they had a 632 tube chassis Camaro with 3 kits on it. And I was like, hey, dude, I think you're going to end up drawing him because I don't care who I got to line up against. I'm going to have to line up against him anyway. Let's go. Yeah. And who goes deep into the race and goes to the semifinals. Yeah. And the transmission lets go. And the dude's smiling like, hey, I messed it up for him, didn't I?
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, And that is what it's all about, and that is what we have to bring back. That's what we have to do in order to keep this stuff alive. You got to have people like that.
Yes, 100%. You gotta have fun doing it. Like if you become too competitive, and it makes it so hard. Like you're not enjoying it anymore. I can't get these stupid things comfortable. They're like right on the ball of my hat.
Oh yeah, on the hat.
Digging into my brain.
Yeah, dude, it's a fine line. It's a very fine line between having fun and being too serious. Yeah, and
let's talk about events.
Yeah,
because you've got some shit coming up that is interesting,
man. So I
know you may not want to give out too much. You should give what you want, but I will say it sounds fun in our text messages.
So Rocky Mountain Race Week was a really cool deal, and I had a great time, and we came back. We actually, in 2019, before the Rona crap happened, me and a couple of buddies, me and PJ thought up a race, and then me and my buddy Eric had thought up a race. And so after going to race week, Eric didn't go, but me and PJ had such a good time. We're like, dude, this is what we're gearing ourselves towards. I don't care about the local, just whatever races as much as I care about making sure my stuff's ready for race week again. And that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So I was like, well, what we ought to do is do a small one here, like a 1-day event where we drive and race. And where we make it different is we do a no time event and, make it a heads up deal. And so what we thought up, me and Eric have thought up this deal where we're going to set up 5 stops. They're going to be at a large gas station that everybody loves here in the great state of Texas.
They have really good peanuts.
Yeah, they have really good peanuts and great, very expensive beef jerky.
Yeah.
We're gonna set that up. I'm working out right now, trying to get a track. We had a date kind of sounded like it could be a probable deal with the track. They're kind of not locking down yet, so we may have to push it back a little bit. So I don't want to get too excited about. I was trying to shoot for May. I wanted to do it before. The beginning of May. I wanted to do it before the Rocky Mountain 1.0. So if somebody wanted to come, it's a 1-day deal. I mean, it's not like it's a huge event. You can, we'd like it to be eventually, but it'll be a 1-day. It's going to be like 195 miles. We'll start in the morning. Everybody has a checkpoint.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's going to be a 1-day battle in the trenches. Who can make the drive? It's going to be a little warm.
Yeah.
And good old Texas heat, and so it'll be a survival of the fittest.
Dude, that was probably the make or break day for several folks, and it was day 2, bro. It was like 100. I was like, fucking hot.
I was so glad to be in the Durango and not in the Mustang.
It was brutal, dude. Like, we were coming in, and it just got hotter and hotter. We typically like to get up at 6 and roll early,
Yeah.
And we were coming in, and I was like, oh my God. By the time we got there, I think we rolled in. Enos is where Doug tore the car up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we rolled in, and like, I don't do heat well. I get real grumpy. I'm an old man,
Yeah.
And so we rolled in, and we're coming. It was the first time I'd ever had an oil leak on the cart, and it was from the oil drain. The hose had swelled, and it was leaking out of the thing, which then pulled it down. Dude, it was crazy. The guys, I wasn't driving it. My co-pilot, Dustin, was driving it, and he's like, hey, it's smoking from behind the turbo. I thought, man, it's fine. It's just like we're literally around the corner from the hotel. It's just dripping down, no big deal. We'll go up. It had, so I had a plastic fitting, and it had swelled and slid off the plastic fitting and was just dumping oil out of the turbo right onto the exhaust, like on this down. So I'm like, oh my God. So I fixed it in the Taco Bell parking lot. Like, literally my hands were in here trying to fix it, like this. And I had gloves on, but all the exhaust was around there. And it was, the turbo exhaust was literally like this far from my face, and I'm doing it by hand. And so after, because we were going to go check into the hotel and then go over. And so after that, I was so pissed, like not pissed, just so grumpy, And I was like, listen, we're going to like hang out in some AC for a minute, or I'm going to kill someone. And so we went to eat dinner at that restaurant that was doing dinner for everybody. I like to set it all up. And then we get to the track, and dude, we like almost didn't get to make a pass.
Oh, really? What time did y'all get there?
Oh, we didn't get to the track till like 9:30. So we pull in, and like they're like, okay, lane 5, if you haven't made a pass, and lane 5, I swear to God, was 150 cars long. So we pull up, and we were just at the end of the staging lanes when we pull up, and I was like, hey, is this the line for nobody's made a pass yet? And they're like, yeah, and it was already really dark. I mean, it was probably 9:30, and we were like, oh shit. And then Doug wrecked, and we were like, oh shit, Or we pulled up just before Doug wrecked, whenever he wrecked.
Oh, okay. So that's why I barely missed you, because we left to come home to get the cars ready to go for the next day, after Doug wrecked.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So we were in the line, and we were waiting, and we're like, oh, this isn't good. And then we were there for a really long time, and the line just kept getting longer and longer and longer. And we were like, oh shit, people aren't going to get their passes and all that kind of stuff. And then we left the next morning early and beat the rain. Dude, it rained so hard, and a lot of those guys were on radials, and they're just all over the place. And the heat coming from there to Tulsa, I think, is what killed it definitely killed the overdrive in the trans. But then third gear was just a time bomb waiting.
Yeah, that sucked. I hate that for you guys.
Yeah, it's all right. I should have went on in second gear and drove on to Oklahoma City, and I'm a pussy for not doing it.
You know what? Hey, look, in retrospect, right? Hindsight's always 20/20, Mike.
I won't miss it next time. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll drive in first gear if I have to, 12 miles an hour. The best part is, you've probably heard me tell this story 19 times, but I love it. So, and it'll be a story that one of those, I'll tell an old man, I'll tell this story. it had second gear, and as long as you were above like 75 or 80% throttle, it would still pull through third and fourth gear. So we would slow down, second gear, and mat it, and then like you'd shift to overdrive in that car. Mm-hmm. As it would get to about the top of whatever I felt like the RPM was, because it didn't have a tack in it. And so it would shift and just keep pulling. Well, we'd run to like 85 or 90, and then I'd just throw it neutral and coast for as long as we could.
Yeah, so, I saw that.
Oh, dude. That's so the video, I think I put 4 runs like that in, but it was probably, I recorded solid for 30 minutes of us just doing it for like 40 miles. Man.
How brutal.
Dude, I know the car was like, fuck you, man. I'm out. Leave me alone.
Kiss my ass. Do that shit again. See what happens.
Yeah. So, then we oh, man. But again, the Race Week family, dude, we end up getting to park it in a cool garage with these.
That was awesome.
Stuff. I mean, like, that was a guy we had never even met, never talked to, never had conversated on Facebook at all ever. I made the post, hey, I need a spot to park this car. I'm screwed. I didn't want to drive it home because it was getting dark. I didn't want to drive it onto Oklahoma City because it had been midnight at least by the time we got in. And, who knows? We'd have got 20 miles down the road and second gear would have taken the shit,
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. And that's awesome. See, I didn't know you didn't know the guy. I thought you might have known him. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about that. That's what's cool. And that's what people they're not in the car world. That's something they'll never understand.
Yeah.
Is what the community is like. And the community is what makes it. It's not the cars. The cars are the bonus.
Yeah.
The cars are the bonus. And to ever think that might not be something in the future for me is just, can't happen. Can't let it happen, man. Like and the event we're going to do, like we're shooting for, is just it's a deal where we're going to bring in some different classes like that nobody has done before. We're going to do a big wheel class. So
cool.
And we'll probably do it on hard tire only though. And then we're going to do like a modern muscle class for the newest car guys. And then we'll have like an outlaw class if somebody wants to bring a heavy hitter car or whatever. And we'll do it. We're going to do a truck class because trucks are big in Texas. I'm sure they are in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So we'll do a truck class, a tailgate class. And I think we're going to have 6 total is what we're shooting for.
That's cool.
So just, stay tuned on that one, and maybe we'll talk again. And when I've got something, actually locked down.
Yeah.
And,
dude, I love it.
Yeah, it'll be a
listen,
ride.
I'll sponsor a trophy. I'll give some money.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man.
But I'll give some money and sponsor it, buy somebody's way in or something like that.
Dude, just having people from the Race Week community come and join us would be enough. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna, as far as like, and that's a good thing you brought up sponsorships. Like on sponsorship wise, we're going after small business people. Because we're firm believers in the small business is what make America go around. It's not not the corporate world. And so we're gonna try to get, like, we have a local speed shop here. I did a video on them, Speed Tech. Cool. I worked there years ago. Keith's a great guy. And so he's in to do some sponsorship. We got a lot of chassis guys around here. So we're gonna do that and try to get as many local guys as we can, or small business people, to pitch in and make it a cool event for everybody.
Well, and that's really cool, like that, because those guys are the ones that, their kids go to school, they're all that kind of, so if you can help them build that stuff, that's always a huge plus. But at the same time, like, it just gives another reason to promote their stuff. Right.
Exactly. And that's we're little guys, and we like to keep the little guys alive too,
for sure.
We can.
Dude, we've got, let's kind of wind it down. What haven't we talked about?
Crappiest car. Did we ever talk about crappiest car?
No, we didn't. I had that in the questions. Hang on, I'll look at that while you tell them about the shittiest car you've ever owned.
Yeah, shittiest car I've ever owned was actually the C3 Corvette. That was a piece of shit. It was really nice. It was a G machine, like he was talking about earlier. Hammered to the ground, had 19s or 18s or something like that on it. It was like 44 inches from roof to ground. Drove like shit. Looked great sitting still. Won a trophy every show I went to. Couldn't make it more than 15 miles without something falling off of it. So that one, and I had a Honda Civic back when the Ricer World was still doing, like it was still,
like I think your age.
I was doing
Fast and Furious 1 and 2 came out. You were like, that's what's up.
It was actually 1. It was the first one that came out. And And so I wrecked the hell out of that down the highway, racing the Camaro. I was beating him, by the way. Sad for
Nice.
him. But
did he know you were racing?
I'm pretty sure he did when I threw the hazards on in front of him. Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. He if he didn't know, he knew then. And then shortly after that, when I did a spectacular bounce off of the left wall and then a spectacular bounce across the highway head on into the other wall, he knew that he had actually won.
He just kept going. He's like,
no, he actually pulled over because I thought I was dead. He was like, holy shit, man. I cannot believe you just went up that wall and back across. I was like, I know, man, far out. I need to get out of here. You know?
Got that door open, please.
Yeah. Most broken
crazy.
part. Oh, ooh, you go on that one. Which one?
Me, I mean, we really haven't broken too much stuff. At this point, I would probably say lifters on the old truck and rear axles. Drive shafts. Drive shafts are the most broken part. Again, traction kills shit.
Yeah, transmissions and rear ends for me. Yeah, definitely. I've never actually broke a motor, I don't think. And I know somebody sitting at home going, you ain't pushing it hard enough. I know if Dave's watching, he's telling me, you ain't pushing. I know, Dave.
That's
I
funny.
know. We'll get there.
Calm down. Up. Yeah. Turn it up. That's funny.
Yeah.
Bad Tree Production says, YouTube is a trip, man. 23 away from 3,000 subs 2 years in. Dude, that's awesome. It's taken us,
congratulations, man.
I think it's taken us 3.5 years to get there. A lot of the first stuff, like the first 150 videos of our channel, do not watch them. They suck.
Yeah.
Don't even. Because I was like, I got to get through a bunch of these to figure out editing and to figure out audio and all that kind of stuff. Once I got to figure it out, they got way better. But
I know, dude. That's what I feel about mine too. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't watch that one.
Right. Yeah. But I don't want to take it down because it's got like 150 views over 3 years. I'm like, somebody's watching it.
And see, that's the thing I was going to ask you. Like, so what do you consider for you at 3,000 subscribers? What is a solid video for you as far as views are concerned?
Well, I'll tell you, to be 100% honest, after the first day or two, I'm on to the next video. I typically don't
look back.
Just because we're documenting so much stuff. I know it sounds goofy to say, but like I really am like, what's next?
Yeah.
What am I editing? What is on? And mainly, and I tell my daughters this all the time, and my 11-year-old thinks I'm an idiot, but I'm like, I'm just going to cram it down people's throat till they either like me or they don't ever want to come back, and they see my stuff pop up and they're like, screw that dude, I hate him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like because I kept thinking, man, at 300 videos it'll do something. At 400 videos it'll do something. 500, we're fixing across 700 videos, and nothing's happened. Like we still get, we've gone up from about 8,000 video views a month to about 20,000 now. But like, I mean, I'll tell you, that's not enough to do anything. That's like $70 a month from YouTube. That ain't shit.
Yeah.
But and then you see, and I really try hard to not compare myself to other folks, because I'm like, I get imposter syndrome real bad. I'm like, why is he doing so great? And then I'm like, I got to make videos like that guy. No. Yeah, and then so you end up chasing that, and that's what when I got burnt out, whenever that was, a couple months ago, whatever, 6-7 months ago. That's what happened. I was like, I get up every morning at like 6:30 in the morning, and that's the first thing I looked at was our analytics from the day before, trying to figure out something. And I was like, no, screw it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have fun. And that's when we kick back off the podcast. That's when we do all this fun stuff. So yeah,
and that's right there. So what's that question? What would be your dream car build in each of the big three?
Let's do Chevrolet first, and then we'll do Ford, and then we'll do Dodge, because I don't know much about Dodge.
Okay, so for me, Chevrolet wise, I had one for a short stint, and I'd like to have another one eventually, but a 65 Bel Air 2-door big block 4-speed car.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be a cool car. I want like a 70, 72 Chevelle SS big block stick car, big block 4-speed Kragers, the dark blue, black stripes, kind of a fun car. What about Ford stuff though?
Oh, for me, right now it's been stuck in my head for a long time, and eventually I'll get there. 71 Torino 428 Cobra Jet 4-speed car.
That'd be cool. I mean, I'm a Lincoln Continental, big body, down low, things like I love the Lincolns, man. They're sweet. That normal stuff. What about Dodge though, dude? I don't know enough about Dodge that I would be able to tell you the years, but
so for me, there's two, and one is a 71 Demon, Dodge Demon, 340 car. I don't know. My uncle had a Duster, and I always liked the taillights on the Demon better, and the way the front the fenders kind of curved around like a scamp, basically a Dodge Dart scamp or whatever. So I like that, and of course, the old Dart 68 Dart would be pretty sweet. Yeah,
that'd be so. The Duster, whatever that body style would be called. I think that Matt Monroe at Big Block's Garage just built
B-body,
A-body,
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's B-body. He's doing a Gen 3 Hemi. I think with like a one lap of America kind of build, like suspension underneath and stuff like that. I think something like that would be fun. I would do that car, and then second would be like a early Viper. 93, 94.
Oh, Viper. Yeah, the Viper, man. Yeah, they're cool.
The V10 with no ABS, no nothing, just
bare bones.
Yeah,
6 speed.
I'm going to kill you car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a guy around the corner from me, about literally like half a block away from me. He's got a 68 Charger he's building right now, but he took a Scat Pack, like 14 or 15, cut the whole bottom out of the car, and he's putting the 68 body over it.
Yeah, that would be such a cool setup, because you almost need the firewall from that car to keep all the bolts and stuff like that for the AC and temp controls and all that stuff. Yeah.
68 Coronet.
Yeah, 500 convertible. That'd be a cool car too.
I like the Coronets too. I do like the Coronet. Man, with the Dodges, it's crazy because they have so many good big bodies.
Yeah. And that's really my style. I like that kind of stuff. I like big booty stuff. That mid to late 60s Impala stuff that.
Big cars are cool. I'm always there's actually a car that I left out on the Chevrolet stuff, and I don't know why I left it out, because it's been in my head since I was a kid. But a '59 Impala.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Yes. I love the bug eye rear end, the curved wings. The 60 doesn't do it for me. The 59 was an incredible car, from the dash all the way to the back of the car was just amazing. Front was whatever, but I love that car.
I'm a fan. All right, dude. 3 minutes. What should we tell folks? If people haven't subbed to you, I mean, good Lord, take your ass over there, subscribe to the channel.
Come over and have some fun with us.
But here's the thing: don't just subscribe. Watch some shit. You guys are hilarious. It's a ton of fun to watch your stuff. I was discussing with the wife the other night that I think I'm just gonna put YouTube on the TV and go at it like that, because
that's what I do.
Well, we got rid of cable a long time ago, and do Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that stuff now, and probably still we were spending cable, but there's not enough car content on Amazon or Netflix for sure, so a lot of times I end up just watching YouTube on my phone while she watches the Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh yeah. That's mainly like 80% or 85% of what we watch, if it's not a little bit of football, is YouTube. And I don't know if have you ever watched that Street Racing channel or SRC Garage?
Yeah.
Okay, so I love Bill. I like Bill's channel. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, I like that kind of stuff, and it's good. And so what I want to do with our channel is we do those kind of things too. It's just we don't. We're a little goofier about it. We like to have a good time and cut up, and and if we make an ass out of ourselves to get a laugh out of somebody, it's kind of the way we are. So we want it to be entertaining for the hobby and for the sport, but we also want it to be entertaining for personalities, because that's what it's all about, man. It's not my channel is more about the culture, the lifestyle of hot rodding and racing. It's not really as much about the racing and the car as much as it's about the life.
It's about living life, dude. What's it going to be like when we're 60, 20 years from now, and we go back and we're watching these videos and we're like, look how shitty that quality is.
Yeah, I know.
It's like 4K now. We're like, why isn't this in 3D? Yeah.
Dude, I know, man. I was watching something the other day. Stevie Fast Jackson was doing something, and he had a video in his car from like when he started racing, like 2004 or 5, and the video was so shitty. I'm like, I remember we used to go back and like we would tune our car off that shitty video. Like, how did we do that?
Yeah. Audio sucked. You're like, how did you figure that out?
Horrible.
Dude, hey, I really appreciate you being on. I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you, spending time away from the family to do this with us.
Dude, I appreciate you, letting me come on, man. I've enjoyed
Oh,
it
man,
thoroughly, dude.
I
I've
love
been
it.
wanting to do it since I met you.
Hey, I love hearing people's stories. I hope that you fire the podcast back up. I hope this kind of helps inspire some of that. And,
yeah, that's going to be coming soon.
Yeah, I'm in. So it sounds like a lot of folks have you've gained some subscribers here, and hopefully as more people see this over the next week, you'll do the same as well. So, all right, dude. Everybody, we're going to end this. You stay with me. We're going to end it. I want to say thanks to everybody that's watched. I want to say thanks to everybody that watches any video we ever put out. For the folks that have been here 2 hours, I'll tell you, I'll have the Stanley decals by the end of the year. It's in the same style as the Narcs Cart decal, and so I'm super pumped. The plan for January is to do a pre-order for T-shirts for Narcs Cart and Stanley T-shirts. So keep that in the back of your mind. Everybody that has stayed in here with us for 2 hours, dude, we've had the same people watching for 2 hours.
I know that, man. That's awesome, man. I was gonna say, everybody who said they subbed, I really appreciate that, man. I really do, and I hope that I do not disappoint.
Oh, dude, I know you won't. So, all right, you stay with me. Bye, guys. I'm hitting the button now. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. I don't know if it's 6 or 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night is Jason and Earl from YouTube. Another race weaker folks, Trailblazer SS people. It's going to be a ton of fun. So, all right.
Yeah, very cool.
Bye. Later.